Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Tim Meyer, here for the Romeo Sports Recap, powered by the Mitt TV. Remember, this show is available on both YouTube and Spotify. And before we begin, a word from our sponsors. This podcast is powered by the Mitt TV of Romeo, Michigan. If you're looking to start a podcast for your business or personal use, look no further than the Mitt TV. They can get you access to equipment, a production engineer, and even edit your podcast. That's all right here at the Mitt TV of Romeo. And you can contact them right now via email at mitt.tvromeo@gmail.com. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Romeo Sports Recap Show. I'm Tim Meyer, and I'm joined here today by girls varsity basketball coach Ron LeBlanc. And Ron, how did you get involved in coaching?
Coach, holy cow. You're taking me back about 25 years. Just always been involved in athletics. Coming out of high school, after my college days, I went back to high school and was coaching boys baseball. Got into girls golf, or little kids golf, I should say, as a trainer. Coached a lot of AAU and a lot of summer softball. So I've been doing this for a long time. I've been coaching basketball specifically for the last 10 years at Romeo.
What got you interested in the basketball program here at Romeo, the girls basketball?
Well, the girls specifically, I guess it would be my daughters. Growing up, I've always been a coach of pretty much the boys game. And then once you have a couple of daughters, you're kind of filling the time with taking them to practices and doing things with that. So that's how it kind of transitioned. I got in specifically with Coach Herndon, who's a longtime 22-year coach at Romeo. So she kind of brought me into the program 10, 11 years ago, actually about 12 years ago, doing their summer program, like the AAU things. And then I kind of transitioned to freshman and JV and now varsity coach the last couple of years.
And so how many years now you've been girls basketball?
10 years basketball in the program at Romeo, 2 years varsity now.
And as we get into girls basketball, it's a little different than boys because there's physical differences. But how do you teach basketball to the girls?
Well, in general, I'm kind of a perfectionist kind of guy. I'm a detail-oriented guy, so I love.
So is my wife.
Mine too. But it's to me, it's the little things that make big differences. So I like. I'll focus on the small things in practices or plays or how they're reacting to things. It's those little details that bring big differences. Outside of the nuts and bolts of the detail-oriented thing, I really love the girls' game over the boys' game because of the attitudes of the girls, to be honest with you, how the game is played. They still really play a basketball game as opposed to a one-on-one game. They like to have fun. There's a quote that someone told me a long time ago, another coach, about boys have to win to have fun, but girls have to have fun to win. And I just love the attitudes of the girls of
that's interesting.
What it's how they approach the game, and how if they're having fun at practice or on the court or outside the court or at, in the locker room, it kind of translates into the game a little bit. So I'm learning that more and more over these years of coaching them. Mm-hmm. Coming up with boys for 15 years and then transitioning to girls, it took really a while to really understand that.
I think watching girls basketball, as I watch the highlights, I get the impression that the girls think quicker out there. They may not have the physical ability to move quicker, but it looks like they think quicker especially when they're passing and bounce passing and getting around, how they get around obstacles.
Yep.
Most guys I see think they can dribble out of it, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But that's what I noticed about the girls basketball.
Yeah, well, there's a challenge to it in that the girls. The thing that I love about the girls is that they are mental. They're mentally aware, and they play the game how the game is coached or how the game is taught. They'll run through, for example, actual play sets, and they understand what they're supposed to do, as opposed to the boys who just will react to what's going on. The challenge with the girls on the flip side is that they can become robotic in that this is a play that we're running. So now I run here and then I'll set this screen here, but then they might not have that reaction to, well, the defense did this. I could have gone this way. I could have reacted a different way, where that's all the boys do. Yeah. And they abandon, the sets or the plays that you're designing, and they go and freelance.
I had a coach that told me one time that, look, I don't care if you know what you're doing out there, you don't know, but run around and try to make me look good.
Well, and that's the only way I look good is if
I'll give that to Cleat Aim. That's Cleat Aim.
There you go. Nice job.
But that's what he said. But when we talk about style of coaching, is your style of Bobby Knight, I'm going to throw a chair across, or Tom Izzo, get up and scream in the officials, or is it more like, I don't know, I guess you would say maybe John Wooden, the old UCLA coach, was very cerebral.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say your style is?
If you were to see me from the outside, at least the wife always says, how do you not yell? It's very, I'm quite calm, to be honest with you, on the bench. I will not, be blowing up at the officials or
never felt like throwing a chair.
I felt it. I felt it. Okay. But no, it's to me, it's more of a demeanor of calm. Now I will be, in the game, I will be expressing myself to the girls as, fill this gap or, hit this, attack here or whatever. So I'm constantly talking to the girls. Mm-hmm. But I would say that I'm a lot more calm on the bench than animated on the bench. I'll see a lot of coaches that are loud and, in the huddles or.
Yeah, I've seen Tom Izzo go out there and scream and yell, and then he's out on the court when they're playing the game and like he's the sixth man or something.
Yeah. I will, it is fun to get into the game.
Yeah.
And there will be moments that you're, into the game positive. I'd like to be honest with you, I'd like to be more outwardly positive in the moment. But as I'm watching the game, I'm seeing things differently than my wife does or a lot of fans do, or even players on the bench, where I'm watching certain things that I might not see, what this player from the other team is doing or what our fifth man is doing, because I'm watching, maybe underneath the basket at this point in time, or I'm watching what are we setting the proper screens, things like this. So I'm not watching other things. So you see different things on the court than other people that are watching. Where's that foul? This girl should have went this way. So it is different. You have a different perspective than, even my assistant coach who's watching certain things and I'm watching different things. So we'll have two different viewpoints of what's going on potentially. And when I'm in the game, I might be focusing on one or two players and watching that screen set up. So I'm talking to these one or two players, but I might not recognize the third player, the fourth player, who might be coming off the bench at that time or coming off the court. I'm sorry. So it's, my focus is to, my goal here is to get a little more positive with the girls that are simply, when I interact with them coming on and off the bench, of nice job, regardless of what they've been doing. Because I might have been focusing so hard on this other area, I miss, the girls that are coming off the bench. I don't communicate with them enough to show them, hey, you're doing fine. It's just a rotation thing, as opposed to, you've been pulled for a certain situation, because I haven't been even watching what you've been doing. It's, the other coach is responsible for the substitutions here. So there is a general thing that I am very calm outwardly on the court. I am still detail oriented. So I'm looking at certain things, and I'm a big defensive minded coach. So I'm always looking at the defensive end of what are we doing defensively to pick up the pace. So I'm looking for that effort and attitude a lot of times, as opposed to the X's and O's or what you did right or wrong. So that's a big focus of mine, is a defensive-minded background.
Well, there must be some communication going on, because you guys going into the new year now, we're looking at the 6-1 start. What do you attribute that to?
Well, the girls, obviously. They're at the very beginning, they bought in to what we're doing. Like I said, we're a very athletic team. We're a very deep team versus many other teams. I think that's one of our strengths, is I have 12 players that I can bring in at any point in time, where many other teams are playing 5, 6 girls in a rotation, where I can play 10, 11, 12.
So everybody gets to play.
Everyone's getting a lot of playing time, which is a good and bad thing, because you can focus on 2 or 3 girls can be getting, 30 minutes a game, 25 minutes a game, like some other teams. But I do like the rotations of getting multiple girls in.
Is it for freshness too?
It's a defensive aspect of it. Can I keep running fresh bodies in? And as long as they're, performing, I'm going to keep a rotation, keep those fresh bodies. It helps our offense when you're fresh. It helps the mental game, helps reduce turnovers when you're fresh. When you get tired, the mental side of it starts to wear on the turnover aspect.
It's
you don't
legs.
black out as well.
It's legs for shooting. I mean,
100%.
you got to have I mean, I could run up and down the court now once, twice, and then I won't be able to feel my legs. But it's important to have fresh legs when you're shooting, especially. You know.
100%. Even more so than shooting, or just as important as shooting, I would say, is the idea of making mistakes. Mistakes come when you're tired, when you're fatigued. They come in the turnover battle. They come in not setting proper screens. They come in not boxing out properly. They come in not thinking of the play, that's in the inbound play that we might be running. You go the wrong way because you're mentally fatigued. So I try to put that mental fatigue on other teams, as well as keep our girls fresh and get rotations in. And we have a very deep athletic team that I can do that this year.
And it's worked against some teams. I mean, they're playing all these 7-guy, maybe a 7-person bench.
They have a lot of 7-man rotations, which, they have their number one players out there. They'll play the whole game minus 1 or 2 minutes. But I don't, we may not have that all MAC MVP player, but we've got a lot of players that would be starting on every team. And we're deep. The entire roster is really, it's quite, it's fun.
One coach told me you can lose with a A1 Division I player, but you can win with maybe 2 or 3 Division IIs and a couple of Division IIIs.
Easy.
Just as long as they play the team game and you're doing all right.
Yep.
Well, let's talk about some of the gals on the team. Kind of give me your assessment of some of your players.
Yeah. Well, we have 5 seniors, 4 seniors returning, 1 coming up from the JV from last year, and the seniors are really our mental nucleus. Abby Ganfield, Jackie LeBlanc, Emily Reynolds, my 3 captains right now that you'll be talking to a little bit later. They're all thinkers. They've been with the program for a long time. They know the game. They see the game. They understand the game first off, which is a big benefit to the team. Coming back, their attitudes are top notch. So they're the kind of leaders that you want, bringing all these other girls up as well. They're just first class ladies.
So the good influence is on the
huge
younger
influence.
players.
Huge influence. 2 other seniors, Allison Shaner is my other returner. She's my one player with height that I have coming back this year. So we are a smaller team. We are more of an athletic team than a post type team, a tall team. So Allison is another one of those incredible attitude girls. Understands the offensive game from setting screens, does it extremely well, plays some very nice defense. So she's a big benefit in certain areas. We have girls that are, we have girls that specialize in a lot of things. So it's a lot of different rotations that I can bring in to do certain things with some girls. These 3 girls will be attacking here. If I bring these 4 girls in, now we're going to do a man-to-man press. If I bring these girls in, let's do a little bit of a zone trap, things like this. So I have a bunch of different girls.
You have
that
a
can
couple of
specialize
them that you bring in that are just shooters.
I have some
Scorers.
I have the nice thing is I have a couple of really nice shooters, and then I have a deep team of 6 or 7 girls that are very good shooters. But yeah, Maya Mushong is our junior, who's probably, you'd say she's our top 3-point shooter. She's a sniper. But I keep telling everybody that Maya is more than just a shooter, even though that's what she believes in. Her defense is.
But I watched some of the highlights, and I saw some of her defense stealing the ball. A couple of times she went all the way.
Yeah.
All the way down the court and laid it in.
Maya, the more that Maya, gravitates or accepts that defensive game, every year she's just gotten better and better, and she's quick. She's a good on-ball defender. She's good in the gaps. Understands help very well. So, that's a big positive for Maya. I love talking about her shooting, but I'm so proud of the other things that she's doing besides just being that sniper.
She's really becoming a well-rounded basketball player.
She is. And I have another 4 other juniors that are really a huge athletic addition to the team. A lot of soccer players in that group, and gotta love the soccer players because they understand the defensive concepts. They understand anticipating on defense. They can run like
Yeah.
Nobody else.
and
right?
forever.
Forever. So I do like that aspect of what you can do with these athletes, especially on the defensive side. You have the Lydia Hills, Claire Carmody, our two returners, soccer players that are coming back. Both of them are very aggressive on the defensive side. Both of them, bring this tenacity and bring this energy to the team. That's so important. Then the other juniors, Anna Wesley, Aya Mosley, are our two post players that have just they've grown so much in just this last year and a half. Anna, this is Aya's second year on varsity. She's a junior now.
Yeah.
She came up halfway through the year last year, and she's just lights out on the board. She can keep rebounds alive. She's a lot like the Dennis Rodman. In the past we were talking about that
Live
earlier.
body.
But she's just everything is just continuously keeps it alive.
Got a motor running.
She does. And she's got a touch around the rim. And she can block shots. She's our one, post defender that can really block a lot of shots. So she's a nice addition in the post. Anna Wesley is her first year on varsity. And she's really, I think, one of the surprises to the league when she comes in. No one's really seen her on varsity before, and she is a force. She's a physical force. She's another fantastic defender, good rebounder. She has a beautiful shot for a big, a post player, I should say, instead of big. But and she's just another one of those. The motor never stops. You love that tenacity. She's a bulldog. I got a number of kids that I would describe as bulldogs. The Emily Reynolds, the Abby Ganfields, the Anna
They're all
Wesleys.
bulldogs, by golly.
They're bulldogs by name, but some of them are just have that grit. That tenacity of they'll never quit. They're gonna, whatever comes at them, they're gonna keep going. Those juniors are phenomenal. Then there's a couple of the younger girls. I have a freshman and a sophomore. The sophomore, Sam Sackfield, first year on varsity. Just you talk about speed. She's the one that you've been seeing. If you've been seeing some highlights of us, in the press, she'll come out of nowhere and just the girl can just
steal the ball,
and
anticipate a pass, come in, knock it out away.
Yeah, and she can leap like you wouldn't believe. She leaps like a guy.
Yeah.
And it's impressive. It's nice.
So
when she gets a little bit more, she's just a sophomore. When she gets that composure on the offensive side, when she can start controlling the point as a point guard type girl, I'd love to see her develop into that point guard who can control the game. Because with her speed, with her change of pace, with her ability to penetrate, she can be a real big force for us in the next couple of years if she can, learn that composure on the court. And the other one, our freshman, Layla Babich, who many have heard of before. She plays football for Romeo as well on the freshman level. So she's another one that is just she can really do it all. She's one that plays a lot of AAU. She comes in with an incredible mind for the game. And I don't know if it's a football, but I sure see a lot of football in her on the basketball court. That idea of no fear, that idea of I can attack on the press.
She received an award for the North Regional Macomb Chamber of Commerce, the Emma Awards, they call it.
Yes, she did.
But she had a game, and she was running a little bit late. She just accepted it in her uniform.
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up, because that's a part of these girls that every one of these girls would be getting awards like that. Layla is just this wonderful human being that beyond the court, she's a dog on the court, and she's going to tear your heart out, but off the court, she is just a wonderful, the most big-hearted.
That's the stories I've heard. She has a big heart, and she's kind to people.
Yeah, and you go down it's up and down the roster, Tim. It's up and down the roster. I'm having so much fun this year with these girls because it's just a wonderful, positive vibe of we want to play together. We
joy.
Do things together. It is.
It's a joy.
It really is.
It really is, and that's great. Well, you got the next half of the season here coming up. What's kind of your anticipation? What's your expectations for the next half? It's not going to get easier because I checked on there. You got Ford on the schedule, and they always got a tough team.
And they have their MVP coming back.
Back
MVP.
So I mean, what do you see, and what are your expectations?
Well, I'm expecting good things. I'm expecting a very competitive season. our goal is to win the MAC white, and I see no reason why we can't. We have, extremely, like I said, a deep team, a competitive team. We are I'm a very defensive-minded coach. Number one, our secondary goal is to be the number one defensive team in the MAC. I want to hold teams under 30 points. So right now we are at that 30-point mark, or 29.8 points a game. We're number one in the MAC, or number two in the MAC of all the 20-some schools. So I'm very proud of that we are a defensive-oriented team. So as long as we can continue to play defense, we're going to be in every game. The big challenges that we have coming up are Utica Ford. Port Huron Northern has a nice team coming back. They're returning everybody coming back. Anchor Bay lost a couple of their bigger players, but they're still highly competitive. They always give us fits, and they're scoring 40, 50 points a game. So those are the three main teams. Probably Utica Ford as number one, our biggest challenge as of right now. So, but I like to see it as they should be looking at Romeo.
Well, that game is certainly circled on my calendar there.
It'll be one. It's one of them.
I'd like to see that one for sure. What's it like to coach your daughter?
It's wonderful. To have to coach a daughter is special. I can't believe it's very easy on her. But I am proud of coaching my own daughter is that I completely remove the coach's aspect from the father's aspect. When we leave the court, when we leave the gym, no one's going to believe this, but when we leave the gym, we don't talk basketball. It's not there. I try to be that.
My daughter behind me all the time. Hockey only gave me so many minutes.
I've done that from a very early age. I coached her in softball, coached her in basketball, and I preach to the parents that I want them to just enjoy their kids and don't coach the kids. Let the coaches coach the kids. So I try to do the same thing with my kids. When we're in between the lines, I'm coaching. Yeah. When we're outside the lines, it's just daddy daughter, and that's been a blessing. I'm very proud of myself for being able to do that.
That's an extremely well, it's not as hard as you think it is if you put yourself in the right mental perspective, but knowing that you have to do that, it does make it a little bit, a little bit difficult. Deep inside, you're rooting for her.
100%.
But
I know it's not easy on her though, because as a coach's kid, there's perceptions of the coach's kid, of what other people want to think that nepotism or playing time or whatever. Then there's also the idea of coach is harder on her sometimes than the other girls, or you could have that back at home of the letting dad down, letting the coach down, whatever. So and then she's always there. When dad comes in, she's there, and dad leaves late, she's there late. It's the first one there, last one to leave, type thing. So that's it's got its difficulties.
It's got to be difficult in some points, and other points it might be easier too, because she could probably anticipate what you're going to do or what you're thinking a little bit.
To be honest, she's the coach on the court. Yeah. She gets it beyond she sees things that I don't see. She knows what we're trying to do, and she'll correct me a number of times on the court. When she's on the court, I'll call something and she'll call something else, and she's right. So I let her go.
Mommy like daughter.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Mommy.
Right. But it's a blessing. I only have 1 year. This is the last year they'll have that. And then it's just dad and daughter. So I'm trying to soak up everything I have right now as we're going through.
Well, that's great. And hopefully Romeo can soak up a few more wins, and we can be looking pretty good in the tournament.
That's certainly
going into the tournament anyway.
Yep.
But Ron, I want to thank you for coming by and telling us a little bit about the girls' varsity basketball team.
Yeah, I hope I hope that people can come out and watch a few games. And when they do, they're going to see some girls they don't quit. They're competitive. I hope some people can come out and watch these girls play. They're putting everything they got into this. So
well, I know Miss Hill's out there. As we interviewed her for the girls' soccer team and then watched her play, she's a real competitor. Yeah. So. Yeah. At least I know I've seen one before.
I've got one more thing before we go. Just got to say, now that you brought that up, there's a lot of girls that are multi-sport athletes on this team, and I'm a huge multi-sport coach. I want them. These girls, they're not going to college for basketball. There's 2 or 3 that can play college ball, but there's others going for softball. There's others going for soccer, and I want them to be playing those other sports. And I love the multi-sport athletes because they see things differently than just a basketball
Right. They
mind.
see the other games that they play. They're athletes from other games, and so a lot of that stuff is adaptive.
Yeah.
You know.
It's a challenge sometimes because they do have different schedules, with soccer coming up or softball coming up or things. But man, that's their passion. I want them to pursue what's going to be their life. Basketball is not the end all. It's part of what you can do in high school. So
Absolutely.
I just love these girls that are playing these multiple sports and excelling in whatever they're doing. So
Absolutely. Ron, thanks for stopping by
you bet too.
and helping us out here, get a better insight into the girls varsity basketball team at Romeo. And we'll be back with Madison Janabet and some of those Romeo girls varsity basketball players.
Before we continue, here on the Romeo Sports Recap Show, a word from our sponsors. This podcast is powered by the MIT TV of Romeo, Michigan. If you're looking to start a podcast for your business or personal use, look no further than the MIT TV. They can get you access to equipment, a production engineer, and even edit your podcast. That's all right here at the MIT TV of Romeo. And you can contact them right now via email at mit.tvromeo@gmail.com.
Today, I am excited to welcome to the show, welcome back to the show for Jackie LeBlanc over here, but to welcome the girls varsity basketball team. We also have joining us Abby Ganfield and Emily Reynolds. Thank you, ladies, for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
All right, so we'll touch real quickly on your last season. You guys finished with a 12-11 overall record, which is the best season the team has seen in a few years. So how did it feel coming off of last year?
It was nice to come off of a better season because we kept a decent amount of girls, and so it was nice to still have like that confidence that like we can still be good, like, and we're also picking up new girls that will help and provide.
Yeah, I was gonna say we have a lot of new girls who offer a lot of new things and like talents for our team. So
Yeah,
that's good.
we're very versatile in different areas.
Yeah, and you've definitely been able to see that so far this year. Even though the season's just getting started, you guys are at a 5-1 overall record. So, I mean, compared to looking at your season from the past, 3 years, that's the best start you guys have had in quite some time. So, clearly the team is clicking. What do you feel like is going well for you guys so far this year?
We can communicate very well, and we kind of like understand how each other plays. So especially like from over our summer stuff, working together, like that's definitely helped us get like a little head start in understanding each other.
I think a lot of it's like outside basketball too, because we have such good chemistry that like it translates like on the court too.
Yeah.
So I think that helps.
Honestly, our ability to score is really good. We run the offense well and able to attack and get some buckets.
Were you guys doing summer clinics and stuff, or maybe some team bonding things? Because I know you said you have some new players. So was that part of the process to get where you are right now?
Yeah, I mean we had a Grand Valley camp, which is where everyone who's like coming to varsity goes. So I think that helped a lot too.
Yeah, and you're seeing it so far this year.
And we had a lot of work in the fall with our assistant coach that really helped like understand each other and understand our different skill sets that we each offer.
Yeah. Same for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So when you look forward to the games you guys still have coming up, which ones are standing out to you as being maybe struggles, maybe being like, oh, they got us last year, we're gonna get them back this year?
I'm really looking forward. I know it's like I don't want to look too far ahead, but I'm really looking forward to our district game to get like a rematch against Stony because they're a one loss so far, and like we know we can beat them, and like we have a chance. We just have to work a little harder at it.
And that was a tight game, right? You guys, the final score was close, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm honestly really excited to play Ford. Last year we didn't come out with a win against them, but it was always close, and we can really compete with them. I know we can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say Stony and Ford too, especially Ford, because I feel like we can compete well with them, like especially in the past, but we really need to come out on top this year.
Does it feel different this year? Just the overall vibe on the team, maybe the confidence level, does it feel like it's increased from last year?
Yeah, I feel like we also have a lot more like, not specifically leadership, but like more positive leadership, and like to help the underclassmen kind of get like comfortable and get their feet set. and we're all kind of like working together, and we don't have like an alone mindset where they're like more selfish and they're like out with the team.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I feel like our team is like well bonded. Like we don't have any cliques. Like everybody is comfortable with everyone else, so that helps a lot.
Oh, that's huge. Yeah.
We just love being with each other every day. Like we're not sad to like go to practice because we know we're gonna have fun with each other.
Yeah, and you three all got tasked with the team captain responsibility this year. So is this the first year that you've all been team captains? Is that a solely senior thing?
It's kind of changes from year to year. Sometimes it just depends on who we have and like who's out there and who can step up and take that role.
Yeah. Were you guys excited when you found out you were gonna team captains?
Yes, very much so.
What has that meant to you guys this year? Have you felt like you've had to step up a little bit more, or maybe you feel like with the addition of the new people on the team, your roles changed a little bit?
Yeah, I feel like because sometimes when you're not the captain and you kind of like follow along with them, because like sometimes you're a little scared to step up and say something, but like being the captain, you know you're able to step up and like you can trust that the people will listen to you and like that they'll understand or kind of try to understand what you're saying.
Yeah, gives you more confidence for sure.
It's really like it's an exciting role to take on because it shows that your teammates have trust within you and they understand and that they want to listen to what you have to say.
Yeah, and even like people who aren't considered like captains, like they're still encouraging others, and I think like with us and being comfortable with each other, like they can fill that role, but like even though we're the captains, like everybody plays that role. So it rubs off on everyone else.
Yeah. Which I think is very important that like even though we are captains, it's a minor role. It shouldn't be taken like everything we say needs to be done or like, well like you know what
it's like a group effort more so. You guys are the designated face of it, but it really it's a full team effort this year. So with all of that being said, because it seems like you guys have got a solid team this year, and more so a solid mindset above anything else. What are your hopes for the season?
I'm excited. I think we have a really good chance at districts this year, like I said earlier, and we can have a lot of fun. Like we know how to have fun while still like play and compete against each other, and so I think that'll bring a lot of confidence to us and success.
That's gonna help later on down the line.
Like Jackie said, we have a really good chance. I also think we have a really good chance in the MAC to do a lot of damage and come out on top.
Yeah, I think I personally would like a league win, if not like a district champs win, but obviously that would be nice too.
We're gonna mark them all as happening. These are all we've just spoken it into existence, so this is what I'm expecting for all of you guys this year. So you're all also seniors this year, like we discussed. So do you guys want to share your post-graduation plans?
Yeah, I am gonna be going to Lawrence Tech University, and I'm gonna be playing softball.
Yes. Do you know what you want to study?
I'm still deciding between mechanical or electrical engineering.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So I'm going to be attending Western Michigan University, and I have no plans on what I'm gonna study yet.
That is okay. You're gonna spend your first 2 years doing your general classes anyways.
I'm currently undecided between Ohio State and Michigan State, and
whoa, you got two very different options there.
Yeah, it's a lot to decide, but I'm most likely gonna study business.
Awesome. Well, congratulations for you as well. And now we've got the hard-hitting question that wraps us out that I gave you guys time to think about, okay? So what's your favorite memory from your time on the basketball team?
I'm gonna have to go with freshman year, and we did a team bonding at Topgolf because that was coming out of COVID, so it was kind of like one of the first things that we got to do, like back outside and not like in our house. Like, stay to ourselves.
Yeah, the first time you probably really got to get together with.
And
that was probably your first like basketball experience was doing the Topgolf. Nice, very fun.
Mine would also have to be freshman year. We went undefeated for my JV team. It was kind of scary for me because I was with a lot of people that were older than me and a little bit intimidating. But throughout the season, like we grew together and we came out on top with the undefeated season.
Undefeated, subtle, nothing much, just an undefeated season. But awesome.
My favorite memory was definitely Grand Valley. We do it every summer, and it's honestly just a great way to like mesh with girls. It's a great opportunity. You get to play a lot of games at them and like just learn together and grow as a team.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I love all of these. Congratulations again so far on the season, the start to the season that you've had. I mean, really impressive. And from what it sounds like, I feel like you guys have got a great shot at accomplishing districts and everything. So
Thank you.
thank you again. Good luck on the rest of the season. Thanks for joining me, Jackie, Abby, and Emily.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Before we continue, here on the Romeo Sports Recap Show, a word from our sponsors. This podcast is powered by the MIT TV of Romeo, Michigan. If you're looking to start a podcast for your business or personal use, look no further than the MIT TV. They can get you access to equipment, a production engineer, and even edit your podcast. That's all right here at the MIT TV of Romeo. And you can contact them right now via email at mit.tvromeo@gmail.com.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Romeo Sports Recap. I'm here with Madison Janabet, and we're going to kind of go over some of the other sports that we didn't talk about and what's going on in the winter sports with Romeo.
Yeah.
But the guys' basketball team's not having a great start like the girls' basketball team.
Nope, they're struggling a little bit this season, but as we talked about, they are missing their star player who's been out. So that definitely contributes to the run that
Aiden
they've
Teague, I believe the sparky little point
Yeah.
guard, he's out with an injury. They hope to have him back by mid-January and hopefully can pick it up and going and peak as they go into the districts.
Yeah, they're at a 3-6 record right now, losing the last 6 in a row. So they're going to be looking to switch things around, and hopefully him coming back to the team give me that spark that they need.
And the Romeo hockey team is doing just as well. They're 11-1-1 on the year, and they had a big game, a tie game against Eisenhower. Now Eisenhower's up 4-0 going into the second period, and they just chipped away, and finally Alessandro Evangelista put the game tire in, and so it was thrilling for the fans. Don't know that Coach Burke,
Probably wasn't too happy about it.
like when they say the tie is like kissing your sister.
Yeah. Probably had some strong words for them, and
And if your sister's ugly, it's bad. And
they're exciting to watch right now, though. It's a lot of fun to be at the Romeo games.
and
They
you
just
can
get
watch them
scored.
on the MIT TV
Yep.
on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
And you watched the last one. I know you did because
Oh,
I
yeah.
said hi to you, and you were
Yeah.
sick and
I was sick.
everything.
Yeah.
And you said
Appreciate
get
the
well
shout
soon,
out.
and you did get well. So you listened. That was good.
It worked.
Yeah. So, I look forward to doing more hockey games, and that'll be great. And then our guys, the wrestling team, which I think is one of the most organized
Yeah.
teams.
Coach
mean-
Callie runs a tight ship over there.
He's got everything down to all the details, what you got to do. But they went to the Macomb County Invitational on the 20th and 21st. And, they had JV wrestlers, varsity wrestlers, like 7 varsity wrestlers, 20 JV wrestlers, and 4 girls competing as well, who I wouldn't want to wrestle with. But it was fun for everybody to get out there, and they did pretty well. The 4 varsity players did well. A first place finish by Bryce Holt at 120 pounds, and for the girls, Jolene Thompson placed second at 130 pounds, and who is it? Alicia
Yeah.
Manuel placed first at 145 pounds. Now that one, at 145-pound girl wrestling me, probably kicked my butt. I'd be pinned like in 10 seconds.
Don't stand a chance.
And we know that also Kelly?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Callie, yeah.
Callie Manuel at 155 pounds. I wouldn't even get in the ring with
would
her.
still not
I would
stand a
not even
chance.
step in, even if you gave me those earphones, to wear.
Even if you had the proper headgear on.
Yeah. But, I mean, it looks like Coach Callie's got the team kind of, getting ready for that stretch run here in January and into February. So.
They've got big shoes to fill from last season. I mean, they had a really great season after the last year, and we got to talk to Braden Mirjavati too. And I mean,
All-stater.
yeah. And the addition of the girls, I remember Coach Callie talking about that being something that he was looking forward to this season, was that he knew he had some girls coming up, and that was something that he was wanting to get started. So it's great to see the success that they're having too.
Yeah, they did really well in the tournament, so that's cool. I mean, never went to, to see, a high school wrestling match with girls wrestling. So that's going to be interesting when I go see one of those.
It's exciting.
The Romeo bowling team, we're going to have them on here shortly. Got to see Coach Dennis Ganesh and see how they're doing. It'll come shortly. You guys got to kind of stay tuned for that, because I have never interviewed anybody from in high school all my years that were on the bowling team.
I'm excited to see how the season works for them. I mean, similar to I wasn't sure exactly how a swim season works. So it's the same thing with the bowl. I'm not exactly sure how the bowling season works. I'm excited for them to come on here and walk us through it.
Yeah, for me, it's like pizza and go bowl a few games. And that's
It's your leisurely activity.
Yeah, and I wasn't very good at it anyway. But and we just you just interviewed the swim guys. They got at least one meet.
They've had one meet so far this year. They won against Port Huron, so can't ask for a better start than that.
That's a good start, yeah.
They've got a long season ahead of them. They seem to think that they're going to make it far this year and hopefully make it to their county championship. So that should be exciting to see too. We'll have updates on that.
Yeah, and you'll see them on a future show here on the Romeo Sports Recap. And of course, we just talked to the girls basketball team with Coach Ron LeBlanc and a couple of the girls. Very interesting watching them play. I've watched some of their highlights, but they are a very tenacious group.
I feel kind of fired up after listening to the coach and the players talk, because I just feel like they have a really good mindset over there, and they've got some really strong players, and they've just built a really good team this year, which is good because they've struggled the past few years. So it's exciting to hear that they're hopeful for this year.
Good camaraderie, they say.
Definitely.
And they play good defense. And
yeah.
What do they say? Offense wins games, defense wins championships, right? Who said that? Bo Schembechler?
They're on their way to a championship.
Yeah, let's hope so. We wish them well the rest of the season, and we'll keep tabs on them and let you guys know what's going on with them. So for Madison Janabet, I'm Tim Meyer saying thank you for joining us on the Romeo Sports Recap. We'll see you next time right here on the MIT TV.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to this episode of the Romeo Sports Recap Show, powered by the MIT TV. Remember, this show is available on both YouTube and Spotify. You can subscribe to the MIT TV YouTube page and click the notification bell to stay up to date on the latest episodes of the Romeo Sports Recap. Or you can find us on Spotify and follow our podcast, Romeo Sports Recap. From the MIT TV, I'm Tim Meyer, signing off with a final word from our sponsors. This podcast is powered by the MIT TV of Romeo, Michigan. If you're looking to start a podcast for your business or personal use, look no further than the MIT TV. They can get you access to equipment, a production engineer, and even edit your podcast. That's all right here at the MIT TV of Romeo. And you can contact them right now via email at mit.tvromeo@gmail.com.